Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Netflix movies.
I'm Brian. I like Netflix movies.
I don't know what Netflix is or what you're watching, but I'm Dan, and I despise Netflix movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
You just outed yourself as being really into necks.
Brian's really into necks.
You love necks.
They give a month free subscription. Netflix, so you know.
A lot of necks. A lot of necks.
Netflix.
We're really excited to be back here today. Thursday, talking about a new Netflix
This is your first
rom-com.
Netflix
It is.
ever.
I think it is.
Wow,
I think
congratulations.
so,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you.
How's
First
it feel?
ever. This is your first. You really typically it's Hallmark or
Yeah.
the occasional Earthquake Underground.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little tragedy movie. Yeah, it's my first one. Pretty excited, actually, to
Yeah.
try something out, venture out a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you say a little tragedy movie? Do you mean disaster?
Yeah, I do.
Tragedy is like a classic style of
You can't
play,
call
drama.
that a tragedy? I mean, disaster. Yeah, you're right. The genre is disaster movie. It could have been a tragedy. It
You want to
wasn't.
watch Hamlet or Earthquake Underground?
Easiest.
Two of the
question.
greatest tragedies of our generation.
Of those two, you Divine Comedy?
Yeah,
Earthquake Underground.
Give me Earthquake Underground over Hamlet any day of the week.
That's not a surprising take.
We're really excited to be talking about Mother of the Bride today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before we do, a quick reminder, BramelFest tickets are on sale right now for the general public, the
Gen
GP. Are you with me?
Oh yeah, we
Got
our
BramelFest tickets going here in
East
Greenville.
Coast.
You can come to Greenville, South Carolina, July 19th and 20th for a fun time.
You can meet Alonzo Duralde in person.
It's my favorite. One of
You can meet Brian Harold and Aaron Shea in person.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
those tickets should be sold out by now. Come on.
They might be,
It's my
actually.
favorite
We
weekend
don't
of the
know.
year unless Christmas falls on a weekend.
It is my favorite work related weekend ever. Like, it's fantastic.
Wow.
I mean, like, I love my family, but I'm choosing like vacation with my family.
Sure.
But like, of the things that aren't that, this is the best.
Okay, fine.
as
Top
good as
top 10 things better than BramelFest. Go.
How can you?
Oh, I don't think there are 10.
There's not 10.
Oh man.
A standard Monday with Parlor Donuts, brought in by Aaron Shea.
Versus a
Bramble
weekend?
Fest is better because there's going to be Parlor
Wow.
Donuts.
Yeah,
Aaron,
it's
thoughts
included.
on
Aaron,
that?
there's going to be Parlor Donuts at Bramble Fest. You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
At some point?
By that point, if we're not sponsored by Parlor Donuts,
We're
we're
not.
doing something
That's
wrong.
right. That's exactly
If
right.
you could actually,
I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm on a first name basis.
have you met
Parlor
the owner?
Donuts.
Is she the lady with the blonde hair?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you could just work it into a conversation, like, hey,
Sponsorship.
we're throwing a big event. Like, what would it look like?
Do you want to sponsor our green room?
Our green room.
Oh my gosh.
I like that we're saying we're gonna have Parlor Donuts in the green room. None for you.
That's right.
All this hype.
You can't have
Nope.
any.
Parlor
No one
Donuts.
can find us all weekend because the four of us are just in. Well,
Yeah.
Brian wouldn't be in the green
Brian
room.
doesn't
but
get it.
I'll watch the door.
We-
I like them just fine.
Parlor
but
Donuts has been open 9 days. I've had it 4 times.
You
I've
know
had
what I
Parlor
was
Donuts 4
reminded
times
of?
in 9 days, and we reheated one day, so 5 days actually.
Yeah, and then I took one home, had it the next
Yeah, you did.
day.
Yeah.
Reheated it again, still phenomenal. So they
unbelievable.
last at least 3 days.
I want to throw this out to the people because I didn't realize.
Still got my
Dan,
coffee.
this was a thing that you and I are in agreement on. Brian and Aaron have both put the boxes of Parlor Donuts in the fridge.
This is wild
at
to
the end
me.
of the day.
Yeah.
Dan and I have never done that.
I don't think anyone below the Mason-Dixon line has ever done it.
I don't think
Is
so either.
is it a thing? Can people do it? Lots of people,
You keep
or
the
do I just
donuts on
happen
the
to know
counter.
I
two
think it's just a
people?
freshness thing.
Do you do it whenever you have leftover donuts? Do you put them in the fridge, Aaron?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if I know for sure that there's like one left and I'm gonna eat it tomorrow, maybe not.
Yeah, those can stay out
I don't
overnight.
know sometimes when we're gonna get to leftovers in this office.
I was explaining to my wife this weekend. I was like, both Brian and Aaron put donuts in the
She
fridge.
didn't-
She looked at me like I was crazy.
It's crazy.
What do you mean?
It's
Well,
one of the
it keeps them
craziest things.
fresher. You put stuff in the fridge, leftovers in the
Puts
fridge.
it makes them cold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
then
I
you take
guess,
it out of the
I guess
fridge.
there's this idea that you're going to eat a donut 3 or 4 days after you bought it, which I've never eaten.
Yeah, I
a
would
donut
just buy more donuts.
more than 24 days, 24
Sure.
hours after I've purchased.
You
it.
never have
Although,
left.
never.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
But that's all right. I mean, in
know,
Boston,
trying to
you're
silence
eating
me, that's fine.
ashtray-filled blueberry-cake Dunkin' Donuts.
Delicious blueberry cake. Oh,
Holly's asking if it's creamy. I'm guessing what you mean is it cream filled?
Filled.
Some of them, right?
Some of them were, but none of the ones that were in the fridge were. I don't think.
Also, Holly, simmer down, okay?
Bread and bread-like items get mushy in the fridge.
Yeah, okay, Summer, I'm with you. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I store my bread in the fridge.
I do.
Yeah,
Really?
for
I
after
do.
a few days,
I
yeah.
store my bread
Never.
once I open it. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, it's the humidity here. It'll eat away at
But
the bread foods.
But I don't.
always put my bread in the fridge.
It takes me a long time to get through a loaf of bread.
Oh, we
Don't-
at
a
our
bo-
house.
box
I mean,
of
a
donuts.
loaf of bread. My kids
I live
doesn't.
I'm the
alone.
only one
I
that
don't
likes
have
bread.
28-year-old boys.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Eating
That's
food,
fair.
so-
I guess I didn't think of it from that perspective.
Yeah, so one loaf of bread takes me more than a couple days to get through.
Bread in the fridge was crazy.
Humidity, guys. It's real.
Yeah, the heat, the
real
temperature
around
down
here.
here will spoil the bread faster than it did up north.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
I will say, like, when I lived in New Hampshire, we had bugs everywhere living in the woods, so everything went in the fridge.
You can't get in the fridge. That's the thing
They
about
can't no
There are
thumbs.
bugs in here?
No thumbs.
everyone knows you open the door, you say hello bugs, and they must then scatter.
Like, I left donuts on the kitchen table, and there were ants the next day.
Yeah.
So, you know what?
Yeah,
Donuts
the
go in the
bugs are
fridge.
wild, yeah.
I'm not losing
Bugs are
parlor
wild.
donuts. I'm not
Bugs
losing
are,
parlor donuts.
no, bugs
Do you
are
Susan
You can
bugs
judge
are
me,
wild.
everyone out there. I stand by it,
I'm with you.
and I don't need to share
Hey,
my
I will
parlor
say
donuts
this.
with anyone.
I'm typically not eat a leftover donut person. I eat the donuts when we get the donuts, but the parlor donut the next day, I know we need to get them as a sponsor because it's free right now,
Yeah.
but they're that good. And the next day it was still delicious.
Yeah, I put it in the microwave for like 10 seconds, and phenomenal.
Brian's over here.
Brian,
acting like
Brian
he
doesn't
knows.
like the
Brian
dessert
doesn't
though,
think
so
they're
That's right.
real
That's true.
donuts, and we will beat
Just
them up
like a
later for
cake
that.
donut. That's all.
Cake. It's not. It's cake. It's
a
not
cake
donut.
donut.
Donut's fried
It's a
dough.
donut. It's a fried cake
Kindly,
donut.
Brian.
Yeah, absolutely.
let's talk about Mother of the Bride.
Do we have to?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think we should. We're here.
It's the name of the episode, at least. We should get to it eventually.
We can have a donut talk podcast. We got time.
Mother of the Bride, sponsored by Parlor Donuts.
Yeah.
It's called
Parlor
do,
Donuts
it's called
presents-
Do Not Listen to This Podcast.
Ah.
Mother of the Bride. May 9th, 2024 is when it dropped, as the kids say, on
Still say that, huh?
on the flicks.
On the Netflix.
On the Netflix.
Brian's hot take. I can already hear it now. There weren't enough necks in this
No,
movie.
no. The version he watched is all necks.
It's all necks.
Somebody is zoomed into everybody who's talking is just their neck.
Oh my god.
What?
It's weird. I know. It's weird. I don't do it.
I'm out.
I don't do that.
No.
That's Brian's thing.
Just try it out.
With a little something like this.
There is fantastic.
So iCarly shows up to dinner with her boyfriend and is shocked to find it is completely empty, the restaurant, except for a harp player and a ton of flowers and all the workers. He proposes and she says yes, but her first thought is, how am I going to tell my mom? She doesn't even know that we're dating. So she goes to surprise her mom, Lana. It doesn't go great at first, but she finally comes around, especially when she finds out, hey, I'm going to get a free trip to where are they going?
Thailand.
Thailand.
Yes.
Capital?
You know it.
You
love it.
You know you love it.
So yes, they do end up going to this resort, and when they show up, Lana is shocked to find out that her daughter, iCarly, is marrying the son of her high school sweetheart. His name is Will. They immediately fall into a pond that is right there out in the open together, and then she
Away
walks.
home.
Then she walks into him naked. It's a whole thing. So it's going well. Lana is at a yoga class and she sees this really good-looking fellow, a shirt off. We're all better for it. I'm sure he'll come back into the story in just a little bit. Lana is bummed to find out that she doesn't have much to do in regards to the wedding planning. See, her daughter, iCarly, is a bit of a web phenomenon. She started live streaming. That's my understanding of iCarly. And she has quite the following on social media. And everything about this wedding is going to be influencerized.
Sure, absolutely.
So, she doesn't really have a lot to do. It's all up to the influencer stuff. So she ends up going to play pickleball, and wouldn't you know it, Will is there. They end up competing, and she accidentally hits the pickleball into his peen. Luckily, the hot guy is there. His name's Lucas. He's a doctor.
Also a Geffen.
He's also a Geffen.
Yeah.
I told you can't say that. And they
Woke mob strikes again if I can't say Geffen.
And
Sounds like something McGuffin would say.
yeah. So they agree to get together that night for drinks. She meets them, but she doesn't stay very long because iCarly walks up and she's now embarrassed to be with Hot Guy. Lana isn't included in the day's wedding planning, so she and the gang head to a secluded spot on the island to go skinny dipping. Unfortunately for them, there are cameras on the beach, and skinny dipping is strictly prohibited at this here resort. So they get told off by the people that run this thing. iCarly then accuses her mom of purposely trying to sabotage the wedding. And she tells iCarly that she's not acting like herself. She's going all influencer on this thing. That's my daughter. My daughter live streams her and her friends for fun. iCarly, the show. Will overhears. Don't boo. Vote. Will overhears all of this happening, so he takes Lana on a ride to cheer her up. But the vehicle then breaks down, so they have to head down to the nearest beach to start a fire, which will hopefully get the, a boat will see it or something. While they're waiting, they start talking about their past. They finally make peace with what happened between the two of them, and they're about to kiss, but they're interrupted by a rescue boat from the resort. On their way up, they're cuddling on the boat, and Hot Doc sees them and tells her, hey, I'm going to back off. And we literally never see him again. Deuces out. But at the rehearsal dinner, Lana overhears Will on the phone talking to someone named Katrina saying, quote unquote, I can't live without you. Whoa. So she immediately leaves and is going to try to stay away from him for the rest of this wedding time.
That's no auto-tune.
The next day is the wedding day, and it goes well despite Lana actively trying to avoid Will. He is confused about what's happening and finally confronts her after he sees her actively avoiding the bouquet toss.
You okay,
the Bowberry biscuit toss. So he speaks up and is like, yo, what's going on with you? And she says, hey, I know about Katrina. Can't live without her, huh? And it's at this point Katrina walks up and is like, it is me. I am his personal assistant. And she's like, well, why did you bring her here? And turns out she brought the ring that he bought her many years ago, and he proposes. At first she says no and then is easily talked into this. They kiss, they fall in water, and everyone else says that looks fun. They fall in water too, and that, my friends, was Mother of the Bride.
We did it.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break down Mother of the Bride here on Deck the Hallmark. Perfect.
Nailed it. That's as good as it gets.
Hello, everybody. Hello. We're talking about Mother of the Bride.
Hello.
Put
it on the board. Yeah.
The Netflix movie from May 9th, 2024. Brooke Shields, iCarly, the rest.
Sure.
Let's break this movie down, starting with the hot take. It is where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. We do not hold back. And there's one person I know that gives the hottest takes a lot. That's what I've heard.
Hottest takes a lot.
That's what I've heard at least.
Living takes.
Brian, it's actually Dan, but I'll let Brian go first. Brian, what'd you think of Mother of the Bride?
Yeah, I had higher expectations for this than our normal viewing experience, right or wrong. I feel like the quality, the production value, budget-wise.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. I mean, they do not joke around on Netflix.
The necks are definitely nicer.
You would think, right? I wouldn't know. I didn't look that close. I don't know. I wouldn't know. You don't know. They're just like normal.
Close.
They look like normal next to me. I don't know.
It's all necks. How'd you not look that close?
It looks like a normal. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't really see all those necks on the screen. That's all.
Then what did you see? It's all necks.
Yeah, normal amount of necks.
How'd you like the movie, Brock?
So I was like not super impressed with what we ended up with. I thought that I like the idea of this story, like the parents coming back together and in a remote place for a wedding. I thought it was a cool idea. I just don't feel it's stale. Like it was stale. Like the jokes weren't funny to me. It was very predictable. like both times called them falling in the water because it's just like obviously they're next to the water, they're gonna fall in the water. Oh, she saw him in the shower, like just very predictable. So I did have a thought early on in this movie, and it kind of ruined. It's unfair that it ruined the experience for me. And this is like Brooke Shields was great. Like everybody was good in this. Like this is not to take anything away from Brooke Shields, but can you even imagine Jennifer Coolidge as the mother in this movie?
Gosh.
Are you kidding me right now? Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Like once I had that
Movie's
thought,
10 times better.
That's what I'm saying. So once I had that thought in my head, every scene, every scenario, I just
want more chaotic energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was
Instead
like
of just replacing that with pratfalls, like Jennifer Coolidge could be funny without it resorting to what if they fell again.
Exactly.
She can be funny.
Yes.
Like looks and how she
the reaction,
talks
the
and,
awkwardness. Like,
oh my gosh.
It's just like that. When I had that thought, it was
I'm
just not
angry. Why did you say
it's not
this?
fair.
Hey, or friend Melissa Peterman.
Melissa
Peterman
Peterman
was
was
great in
yeah,
this, too.
absolutely.
Crushed it.
So just not fair to this movie because once I thought of that, immediately I was like, why didn't this happen? Why didn't that happen? So, and they should have, and almost like, I also felt like they shortchanged influencers. Like, it's a real thing. And in this, it just was like not even taken seriously. Like, it could have been played.
In Tuesday's episode, Brian said, here's some good things about global warming. And in Thursday's episode, he's like, I got to stand up for the influencers.
Yeah, they need some help.
If I don't do it,
who will?
Nobody's going to do it.
Like they could have.
got to.
Yeah, you have to respect and stand up for the influencers. Like in this, she was just like there was
Stand up for
like
the influencers.
one time she was sitting on a chair on
While
the
he
beach,
chugs his Prime energy drink.
That's right.
she was trying to work, quote unquote, work on her laptop, and it was like the one time in the movie she was trying to like they were showing her working. I just feel like there was so many more opportunities to use that aspect of her life in this story, and I don't know, it just fell flat for me, unfortunately.
Hate that for you.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yo, can we write a movie where Melissa Peterman's the mom, Vic Michaelis is the daughter?
Oh.
And it's just, this movie, but like better?
Any movie. You know, the plot.
That feels like
Doesn't matter.
might be in the works.
Hi. I liked it, actually. I had a good time with this. Probably more. Dan looks over at me at one point in this movie and he says, I think you're having more fun with this movie than I am. Spoiler alert, I was. I love when people fall. I gotta be honest with you. There's not enough of that in today's world. I could watch videos of people falling all day long, and if it's in movies, double it. Twice
For the
me.
marathon, should Brand just watch videos of people
That's right.
falling the
Yeah.
whole time?
And so like there's that video of that guy who's on his it's icy on his it's icy and he keeps falling down on his driveway.
Yeah.
You've probably lived it, but for us it's really funny.
Yeah, it's
really
not as fun as it looks.
No, it's really funny when you watch it.
These poor people just falling, and Brandon's getting the best.
Yeah,
time.
It hurts.
honestly, the envision.
It's for days.
What did you just say?
The innovation.
It's like people watching you talk.
I can watch Brand say
I can
words
watch
all
Brand-
day.
I can listen to Brand read the dictionary. It'd be
100%.
great.
The invention of like the Ring doorbell and stuff that's made like security cameras so readily available has been
ambition.
awesome. It's
Also the invention.
the
though.
invention invention.
Yeah.
I liked the movie. I thought it was a good time, and I do still agree with a lot of what you're saying. Like this movie had a lot of potential and fell flat in many different ways. I could have definitely used more Chad Michael-Murray, and that's saying something because they don't leave much to the imagination in regards to him. But really, for me, I had a good time. It definitely could have been a good bit better, but I went in kind of being like, this will be fun, and I did have fun. Dano?
Yeah, this movie has a lot going for it. Clearly has a big budget. Brooke Shields is a pro. Benjamin Bratt, pro. Chad Michael-Murray, holy smokes, he's never looked better. Miranda Cosgrove, and yet it falls incredibly flat. I agree with everything that Brian said. Instead of like actual humor and interplay, it is a lot of like just physical comedy that doesn't work. Like Brooke Shields is giving it her all, and she's talented, but it doesn't vibe with what's happening here. The plot makes very little sense. This Kamala character is supposed to be the bad character, but she's paying for the whole wedding, and it's like, I don't know. I didn't have a lot of wait whats because I just felt like most of the movie was spent with bad misunderstandings and dumb pratfalls, and The material and the location was beautiful. The material, the people are beautiful. They deserve better. The material did not meet the standard for the people involved and the location where they were or the budget. And so to me, I mean, Whitewater was like all-time bad, but a run-of-the-mill bad Hallmark movie is like, you know what? They had $2 million. They did the best they could. This movie had way more than $2 million. It had to have at least 3, 4, 5 times that. That's just I have no idea, but I can't imagine it being made for less than that.
Oh, I think they made it for less than $10 million.
2, 3, 4, 5 times that. So literally less than 5 times, but 8 million?
I would say probably 6.
All right. So 3 times the budget. And a lot of it is on screen, but none of it is behind the camera with the writing and what the movie's really about. And that's unfortunate. And at the end of the day, would I rather watch this than the Whitewater movie? Yes. Would I rather watch this than the average Hallmark movie? No, I wouldn't. It just wasn't very good at all. So that's unfortunate.
It is time for All the Feels. This is where we talk about what this movie gave us feels. Dan, do you like videos of people falling?
I mean, an occasional one.
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
not
seek
gonna
them out.
sit
I
all
never
day.
seek them out.
But
What?
if
I never
You
seek 'em
really?
out.
They just
No.
happen upon?
They
if
just- I
it
just
catches
happen-
me off guard.
Yeah.
you
Hey,
know,
look at this funny video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it? That's how you got
I
that
think
one time.
an appropriately timed pratfall is great. Great bit.
Yeah.
But if you do it over and over again instead of actual
Yeah, there's lots of
jokes-
falling in this movie.
Yeah.
Let's get to All the Feels. Brian?
Yeah. You know that piano scene where he was playing the piano?
Yeah.
My feels was the idea of your dream of knowing one song on
Dude,
piano. And
It's all, if I've ever, I should just put my time towards it and it could be a reality.
yeah. Because in that scenario, like you could do that.
You could do it and
You-
people think you're
you
great.
could sit at that piano, play that one song you know,
Yeah.
and then just
Ryan and I talk about this. You memorize one
Just-
really hard song
that's all
on
it
piano.
takes.
You don't work on learning to read music, anything else. You just memorize
yeah,
one song.
muscle memory on those keys.
Everything about it. And then you just go to places that don't know that and
Yeah.
you do it, don't make me
You
sing
sit down and
bit.
go, what's this?
Oh, is that a piano?
you got some ivories over there? Well, you just
And
tickle-
do
tickle
a
those
little,
things.
real quick thing, and then you're like, and you play the song, and then you walk away. You're like, not another one. No, I can't do
That's-
another
I
one.
couldn't.
That's all I can do.
I'm off tonight. I'm enjoying tonight.
Man, that's
So,
how my feels.
I
Because
was-
I should,
It's very funny.
Imagine if you just did it.
Oh,
just knew Piano Man, and then Piano Man, and then you.
What's the end goal? Just like,
Just to do it,
Yeah.
just to be like, you don't do it yet
for fun.
Yeah, it's just for
Yeah.
fun.
Just good old time. It's sort of like going up, like pretending you're the waiter at a restaurant. You ask people how their
No,
dessert is
that-
going.
yeah,
It's
that
sort of like
seems
that. Like
who
just-
would do that?
Nobody,
crazy.
Nobody here.
Yeah, Chad Montgomery.
Yep.
What about that guy, huh?
Yeah. what about 'em?
Holy moly!
It's pretty wild. Pretty
Yeah.
wild
Dude.
stuff there in this movie. Pretty wild stuff. Pretty wild stuff. Dano?
That was it. No, I did my.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Deck the Hallmark. Really good day. Really good day. What's up?
Sup,
What's up, all you Winnie the Pooh nerds?
nerds?
We're talking about Mother of the Bride. It is where we talk about the movie. It's time for the
Mother of the Bride. It's where we deck the Hallmark. Oh no! Oh no!
Merry Christmas.
I
Got lost
messed
in the
up
ogres.
words again.
Got lost in the
I
ogres.
could watch this all day.
Oh no!
It's time for Wait What? It's time for the Wait
Yeah,
What.
life comes at you fast.
Brian?
Go for that eyes.
Brian, good
Yeah,
sir.
man.
Anyway, what's?
What are the? This is sort
Where
of
are all the necks.
so many. This like the fiance. I didn't understand what his deal. Like, what did he do? Do we know what he did for a job in this movie?
He's the son of
He's son of Rich Dad.
Rich Dad.
Yeah, I just like I was so confused by this because it seems like he's got a lot of money because he did that grand proposal, but there was like no follow up on his life, and I'm sort of like, what is this guy's deal? So I was really kind of like wondering most of the time.
Have you
what's
met
this-
the child of a rich person?
Yeah,
This is what they.
Yeah,
this is what they do.
yeah. But I mean, I would have appreciated a little.
You thought
bit
he was
of
using
info.
his own money?
I had no idea. That's the thing. Like I was confused by what his deal was.
Dad gave them a condo
In,
that he owns
yeah.
in Tribeca.
Yeah, I noticed
So-
that he's got a
So
little.
he is
He
now
is-
going to be rich.
He is
for
son
sure.
of rich man.
the equity there. The giving gifts before the wedding, like, was a weird move. I feel like they didn't have to do that. It felt like really forced, and maybe it was just for that scene where they had to like one up each other. But I feel like that could have waited. right? Like do gifts later, or
Yeah, it was a weird time to do gifts.
and a lot of again with the social media, like there was so much talk of it, and the only time we saw active like social media action going on was at the wedding with the
See
cameras.
so little social media
Like
in this movie.
nothing. They didn't do anything. Like it would have been fun. This is one of the times I thought where Jennifer Coolidge would crush it if they had like social media faux pas, like the daughter's trying to create an ad and the mom is just like ruining all these posts and like
That's a great idea.
Yes, and they just none of that, like that aspect of it, where it would have been really, really funny. So just like all this talk of social media, and then like no effort into using it in the story or in the movie. Bran?
I got a few. One, I mentioned in the synopsis that there is a time in which she walks in on the guy and he's
Benjamin
naked,
Bratt.
and the reason why this all happens is she knocks at his door. And he's like, I need a towel, come on in. And then he proceeds to just walk out naked.
Yeah.
And the reason why he said come on in is because he thought that it was his brother. But I still wouldn't just walk out naked in front of my brother.
No.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're in agreement here. Like,
Same.
I would just be like, hey man, hand me the towel, bro.
Yeah.
Leave it right there. Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe if I looked like him, I'd be a little bit more inclined to just walk around naked, but I don't.
Benjamin Bratt's 60. He's looking good.
Good
Phenomenal.
He's
Lord.
looking good.
Phenomenal.
Speaking of good Lord, we all know that Chad Michael Murray is a good looking fella.
Sure.
I do want to point out that he went onto the beach, looked at a bunch of women doing yoga, and then just did this.
And then just sprays sunscreen all over him, and just stares at a group
Thanks
of
for
women.
grabbing that, Lee.
And I
Appreciate
told
that, man.
if he looked like Bran looked right now, he'd get arrested.
right. Right.
Yes.
I try this, and it's weird.
All of a sudden, I'm indecent exposure.
Man, look at that.
I'm
neck.
just saying he should be arrested.
if Chad Michael
I'm
Murray-
not saying it's right. I'm not saying that me doing this in front of the women at the yoga is right. It's wrong, but it's wrong for him too. That's
right.
all I'm trying to say.
Chad Michael Murray, if he was half as hot, he probably could still get away with it. That's the sad part.
Disappointing.
Because he's hot, it's like, he's just a dude staring at a bunch of women doing yoga, rubbing himself.
That's right.
It's Thailand. Do what you want. You're on vacation.
You're right, it's Thailand. Different rules.
The at the wedding itself, the bride and the groom could not be further apart on this stage. The guy's in the middle, and they're like on opposite sides. I don't know if this is like a Thailand tradition, because since they're having their wedding there, it's like you guys stay far apart until then. It's tradition. Last but not least, the final fall that takes place after, she finally says yes, they fall, and they fall onto the stairs of the pool.
Yeah.
And that looked like it really hurt.
That's a back injury right there.
Yeah, that's not something like that that would be fun. Like, that's something like, oh, actually, man, I don't want to, we keep falling. And I now realize I don't want that. I can't I'm in my 60s. I don't want to keep falling. I know I just said yes. It's now a no. I can't keep doing this with you. Dano?
A lot of falls. The first
watching
time
them.
that iCarly's fiance meets Brooke Shields, he gives her a hug, and I'm going to call it awkward. He gives her a hug, and then they switch the camera angle, and he does this move with his neck.
Necks, huh?
You would
Did you
get
say
it.
neck?
Yeah. He like nuzzles his neck. It's weird.
a neck nuzzler.
It's weird for someone that you just met to hug for that length of time and to do what he did with his neck. It's just weird. We never get the reason why Chad Michael Murray is in Thailand. We never get it. The only thing we get is that this single hot doctor decided on his vacation he was going to spend a week in Thailand by himself. That's all we know. And he's going to stare at women doing yoga. These are the facts of the Chad Michael Murray situation. We don't really have anything else there, which was just kind of weird to me.
And what is he?
He's a Geffen.
He's a Geffen.
He says this line. We find out later he works for the Geffen something school, but he says a line where it sounds like he says, "I'm a Geffen in L.A." And we're like, I don't know what that is, or should we be scared?
So we just kept saying he's a Geffen.
He's a Geffen
so
over and over again.
you can kind of do
Yeah, we did say that.
We find out that they have cameras on a deserted beach, and nobody blinks an eye at this. They go skinny dipping on a deserted beach, which okay, first of all, how'd you find it? It's deserted. Second of all, why are there cameras if the beach is deserted and no one's there ever? Why are there cameras on the deserted beach? And they're reviewing that footage regularly because they saw it immediately. What happened? Why is any of that happening? And then lastly, I have to bring this up. In a world where we watch movies every week that have all is lost moments, this moment where there's a misunderstanding, the worst one that I know is the Tyler Hines one from Time for Him, where it literally cost him years of his life because he misunderstands a conversation going on, and then he never goes back to check on it, and he just spends a decade or whatever thinking that she didn't love him or whatever. Like that is the worst. This is pretty close.
Yeah.
She has met this guy again, and he's on the phone, and he says, "Come on, you know I can't live without you." That's literally all he says. And she is like, well, that's it. He's done it again. And we never get any confirmation he cheated the first time. So this was a really terrible all is lost moment that fit the movie pretty well.
Yeah, brutal. Right?
Should have fallen down.
Would have enough hurt.
It's time for What the Flicks. It's where we talk about what we would still like answered, any questions that we still have. Brian?
Yeah, a lot of standing water in this resort and around the area. And I just wonder how bad the bugs are because it didn't look that bad. But all I could think of is how bad the mosquitoes must be.
Water. I mean, the pool's got the water's moving in the pool, right?
Yeah, but there are like these ponds that they have
in the lobby when they fall in that
Those
water
are
in the
all
lobby.
man-made ponds, like those are probably still moving.
There's got to be bad bugs, right?
Okay.
I just wonder how are they bad or is it taken care of? Because that's my big thing. Is you go, yeah, it looks great, but are you like this the whole time, swatting bugs out of your face? I don't know. I'm wondering.
I don't trust Chad Michael Murray's character in the least bit. He's this guy who, as Danny mentioned, has gone to Thailand by himself,
and he's volunteering
in
the local.
I don't believe him. I don't believe. What about him makes you go, yeah, he's telling the truth?
No, there is so much about him that is circumspect.
No one. We've never heard of.
As well.
We've never heard of people with money going to Thailand to do weird things. We've never heard of those stories before. They don't exist.
Yeah, he's not
Everyone's
hiding.
on the up and up.
He's not hiding.
He's not doing anything suspicious. I'm just going into town.
That's it.
I'm working.
Gonna do some work on my
I'm
vacation.
working.
I'm a doctor.
I'm a doctor. I'm a Geffen. So.
No more questions.
No more questions. I'm a Geffen in L.A. So that explains why I'm here. Dan?
At the beginning of this movie, iCarly is in London. Is that correct? Where she gets proposed
Yes.
to? Okay. And then her mom lives in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And she was living in Los Angeles as well, but she was doing some sort of internship in London, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Benjamin Bratt gives them a condo in New York.
Yes.
Why? Where are they living in New York? Are they going to live in New York? Was that the plan all along? Because Brooke Shields says at the beginning, I can't imagine you not living in LA. Mm-hmm. Where are they living when they get married?
Good questions.
I just am curious. That's the only time I thought maybe I missed it. The only time we hear New York is here's a free condo in Tribeca.
Yeah, I don't think it really, I think it's just a, hey, if you ever need it.
If you ever need it, you have
it. Yeah.
Then you'll have it.
You'll have it.
Yes.
Not like, hey, we're going to live there.
Okay.
This is just
so they're going to live where?
Well, there was talk of London at the beginning of the movie because she was like, please tell me you're not going to stay there. And she's like, I don't know. It's it could go on a while or something. Because she's like, I'm not ready to lose you permanently. And that's when she finally was like, well, I'm actually got engaged. But I think London is on the
table,
on the table, on the cards.
Check those cards.
Check those cards. Could see London.
Is this your card?
Could see
I
France.
see London. I see France.
Could see Brian watching that.
You know it.
Yeah. We did it.
We did it.
We did it, everybody. We'll be back. I don't know if we'll be back tomorrow, honestly, because some things have happened. But
Ooh.
we'll figure it out. I'm sure we'll be back. I'm sure we'll be back
Sure
tomorrow.
we'll be back.
Sure, in some way. Until then, we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.